This video is for your lesson 1-25 notes, and you've got a white page and a light yellow page. So the first thing that you need to do is to cut out all the pieces and separate the graphs, the tables, the slopes, and the equations and the intercepts. And then you're going to glue these equations down. So these are the spots where these three equations go. We're going to set those and then make everything else fit. So to find the table that's going to go with this equation, so if you remember, we can go to y equals and we can type this equation in. And then once we type it in, we can go second graph, and it's going to build the table for us. So if we look at our tables, we've got to find one that matches up here. So when x is 0, y needs to be 2. So that would be this first graph right here. When x is 0, y is 2. So this table would go right here. Now to do the slope and the y-intercept, so the slope, remember, is always the number that's attached to the x. So we know on this one that the slope is going to be a positive 2. And then we need the intercepts. So again, you can do this from your table. Your y-intercept is going to be where x is 0. So I see here that x is 0 and y is 2. So a positive 2 is my y-intercept. To find the x-intercept, you want to know when y is 0, what is x? So my x-intercept would be -1. So that would be this one. X-intercept is -1, y-intercept is 0, 2. Now to pick the graph that matches, well, our slope is positive, so I need a graph that's going uphill. So my only two choices for this are D and B. But we can also look at the graph on our calculator and use that to help us pick the right one. Or again, you can look for the y-intercept. So again, we know that the y-intercept here is a 2. Well, both graphs go through 2. So we can look for another ordered pair or the one that has the correct slope. So for this situation, graph B is going to have the slope that I need here. All right, my next one is y equals 2/3 x plus 2. So I'm going to go into my y equals, and I'm going to enter my equation. So 2/3 x plus 2. And then let's look at our table. So in this table, when x is 0, I need y to be 2. That's not right. Hang on. Let me look at my equation. 2/3 x plus 2. Oh, that is right. So I need a 0 and a 2, and then we've got to pick another point that will work. So let's look at 3. When x is 3, y needs to be 4. So this is the only table that I have that matches. And so this one, again, is also a positive slope, so we're only left with one option for this. All right, our slope is always the number that's attached to x. So our slope is 2/3. And again, to find your x and y intercepts, 0, 2 would be your y-intercept, and -3, 0 would be your x-intercept. You're looking for those zeros in your table. All right, my next equation is -2x. So -2x. And then let's look at our table. So here I've got a 0, 0. Well, this is the only table that has those points listed. Now, I also know that I'm dealing with a negative slope here. And the other thing I notice is there is no y-intercept. And so graph C is the only graph that has a negative intercept or a negative slope, and that also goes right through the origin. Again, the slope is the number that's attached to x, so the slope here is -2. And then your x and y-intercept are both going to be 0, 0, since this is a proportional relationship. It goes through the origin. So that leaves me with only these pieces left. And always make sure that you're checking your work. Even though that's all you have left, go ahead and check it with your calculator to make sure that you're getting those in the right places.